IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with our eyes. Did you know that 80% of all learnings come from our eyes? The information we pick up the most comes from our eyes. It is our unique advantage over other animals. In fact, the way our entire body is designed is around our sight and the way it works. For example, by walking upright, by standing tall, we have a clearer view of the world around us. We can look further away than we could when crawling on the ground or on the floor. And the way our eyes are placed side by side gives us the ability to judge distances very accurately using our eyes. Now, what I find the most amazing is that our eyes have the ability to absorb a lot of information instantly. In a second, we can pick up to 50 different things. And in order to process what the eyes have picked up, the brain gets involved. Many believe that our eyes are an extension of the brain. But more than just the physical wonders of the eye, they showcase emotions too. Communication between people. A glance can say so much. And the eyes can pick up the minutest changes in another person's body language and can sense something in them. However, most of us do not use our eyes at all. We don't use them effectively. We rely on them subconsciously. And hence we leave a lot of improvement on the table. We can learn to deepen our relationship with others if only we learn to use our eyes. Most of us have shifty eyes, eyes that dart from one place to another, eyes that are constantly searching for threats. This is especially true when we're out for parties or weddings. We're constantly on the lookout for who's coming next, who has entered, what is the next threat that is coming our way. Unfortunately, this happens while we're talking to people. We look around the room while talking to people. We do not make eye contact. We instead stare at the floor or look away. We don't look at their face. When we stop making eye contact, we communicate to the other person that we are disinterested in the conversation. We are not honoring them with our time and our energy. And it is almost like we've dismissed them. This is the same feeling we get when someone is wearing sunglasses and talking to us. We cannot see their eyes and we feel a strong sense of disconnect. I once had a friend who would get very upset with me for wearing sunglasses. She would get angry and force me to remove them. So, learning to make eye contact is an essential habit we all need to consciously practice. It will become uncomfortable, but over a period of time, you will get used to it. And all things that are new are uncomfortable to begin with. You will feel shy. You will want to immediately stop making eye contact. But don't worry. Instead, break it and look back again. Very often when we practice making eye contact, we end up staring at the person as if our eyes are about to penetrate them. There is so much intensity. So the habit for making and maintaining eye contact is to listen with your eyes. Listening is a very passive activity. In the same way, when you're talking to someone else, listen with your eyes. Listen for the subtle changes in their body language. Listen for the changes in their eyes. Focus on one eye and then gently move your focus to the other. And this way you can move between the two. So your super simple habit starts by understanding that making eye contact is essential for better interpersonal relationships. And you need to start doing it. Then, from the habit of listening with your eyes, make it a passive process. You are just absorbing the other person. You're making them feel seen. In fact, one of my most favorite quotes from a person called the kindness guy, he says, kindness is making the other person feel seen. That's it. So simple. So show kindness today with your loved ones and anyone else that you meet. Just make them feel seen. Usually in a podcast, it's me who speaks to you and you who listens. But I've been seeing your comments and it's time. It's me listening to you. Following the overwhelming success of this podcast, the good folks at IVM Podcast Network have decided to come up with a Kannada adaptation of the show for those who prefer listening to it in that language. Do make sure you let your Kannada speaking friends know about this as well. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME 180. That's Awesome 180.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, the cast and crew of Gairaiya joined Cyrus in a fun chat about the making of the film. Cyrus talks to Deepika Padukone, Ananya Pandey, Siddhant Chaturvedi, Darya Karwa, and the director Shakun Batra. Kadai Podcast is back with a new story. Venvel Seni is a Tamil podcast done by Kavita Jiva. Find out how Tamil South India stayed independent of Ashoka and the Mauryan Empire. On Paisa Vesa, Anupam discusses finance for informal labor with Gautam Bharadwaj and Parul Shet Khanna, co-founders and directors at Pinbox Solutions. Should assisted dying and euthanasia be legalized? On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the Lancet Commission's Value of Death report. And on the Filter Coffee podcast with Karthik Nagarajan, freelance journalist Priyanka Pula sheds light on the drug regulation problems in India. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. The word of mouth really helps. Also, don't forget to rate us on whatever platform you're listening to us and check us out on YouTube. You can check a list of all our channels at ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.
If you're a cricket fan, check out Edges and Sledges, India's favorite cricket podcast.
The podcast focuses on Indian cricket, the IPL, and has a ton of banter both on and off the field.
We talk about the week's biggest cricket stories with current and ex-international cricketers, coaches, or sometimes just between us.
And it's hosted by me, DJ.
Me, Varun.
And me, Ashwin.
New episodes release every week.
You can catch us on the IVM Podcast's website, app,
or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast.